Are you ready to boost your confidence when selling so you're able to close more deals? Nikki Roush will show you how to build a foundation of skills and a mindset that creates sales success without feeling pushy or salesy and without fear of rejection. She is a sales strategist and coach with more than 25 years of sales experience and is master certified in neuro-linguistic programming. This is a radically different approach to selling. It's a no sleaze, no slime, and no stress approach to building your business. This is Sales Maven. Here's Nikki.
Welcome to the Sales Maven podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Roush. I am so excited that you're here with me today. We are going to be talking about the strategy that I get the most pushback on. So I teach a lot of strategy around sales. I think when you can figure out strategy and structure and you can implement that into your own business in your own way, then it's going to be something that will work for you and that you can duplicate it over and over again and see success. So I love strategies. I love frameworks. And there's one strategy that I consistently get pushback on. And as a matter of fact, I've gotten pushback on it multiple times just this week. And I've been teaching this for years. And I thought, you know what? I need to record a training about this particular pushback. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to record a training about it because I talk about it all the time. I'm going to do a podcast episode because I'm guessing that there might be somebody listening right now who might actually even be one of my clients in the Sales Maven Society that has been avoiding doing this. So I might be talking to you today. And if you're not in there yet, that's okay. You might still want to push back on this strategy. And I'm going to share with you some reasons why I know this works. And when you are willing to implement it into your own business, you are going to find it works for you too. It doesn't just work for everybody besides you. And I know that you're special. I know that your business is unique. I'm not taking away from that at all, but I do want to talk about this thing that I get so much pushback on and why. Now, here's the strategy, and it has to do with how do you move a client from email communication or a prospect really, well, it could be anybody, but a prospect or a client, how do you move them from having some back and forth on email into a live call? Now, you're probably already thinking, I already know how to do that, Nikki. I'm just going to send them my calendar link. That's not what I want you to do at all. As a matter of fact, I teach a process, I call it the 3 times, where you actually lay out, and there's very specific language. I'm not going to go into the specific language today because frankly, I teach it many, many different places. I teach it in the Email That Converts course. I teach it in the Language of Sales course, and I teach it in the Sales Maven Society over and over again, and there's a whole module around it. So it's my 3 times language. So the idea is when you want to get somebody on a call, you send 3 options of times, 3 ranges of time for people to pick from. And you make it really easy for them to say yes to getting on a call with you. And I know I've talked about this on the podcast before. Here's the pushback behind it is people go, well, I'm going to be doing all this prospecting, or I don't want to send the same time to multiple people, or I can't hold all that time on my calendar open for this person that I gave these options to. And I'm in no way suggesting that you, one, hold the times open on your calendar. So let's say I want to get on a call with you. You're somebody I'd love to earn your business. And I say, hey, I'm available. Or actually, I'll never say, hey, I'm available. I would say, here are some possible times for a quick call. And then I would give you ranges of time. I would say, Monday, anytime between, 9 and 10 a.m. And then I always give my time zone. I think that's really important. And I do that 3 times. Okay. Now, the pushback is people think that I'm saying you've got to hold that 1 hour open on your calendar until the person responds. No, not in any form or fashion. The idea is we're just trying to make it super easy for the person to pick a time to meet with you. So it's not, do you want to meet? Yes or no. It's like, here are some possible times. Please pick the time that works best for you, which by the way is an embedded command. And this gets people in that forward momentum of actually scheduling. But again, the pushback is, I can't hold that time open. You don't need to hold that time open. As a matter of fact, I will send the same ranges of time 3 times to up to 20 people before I'll change up the times. Because the best problem you could possibly have is that everybody responds to that request to get on a call with you and they all pick the same time. It's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I usually, when I teach this, I will say that might happen maybe up to 4 times a year because I use this strategy over and over again in my business. But I was trying to think if it actually happened at all last year. And I think the answer is it didn't. It's one of those things where, and this is the pushback, is people are always trying to look for a reason to not have to give the 3 times. And I mean this with a lot of love, but I think it's being lazy because it's more work for you to write up an email and have to give the 3 times. Like, oh, isn't it easier to just send somebody a link and tell them to pick? Yeah, of course that's easier. But sometimes easier for you is more work for the person that you want to get on the call with. And if you do something that's more work for them, they won't do it. So now you're trying to take the easy way out becomes a waste of your time because you actually don't ever get on the call with somebody. They never then hire you. You miss out on working with some of your best clients this way. So people always go, well, I just want to give them my calendar link. Or this is the other pushback that I get. Oh, I know, Nikki, you say not to give a calendar link. By the way, I'm not opposed to a calendar link. I'm just opposed to using it to make it really easy for somebody to get on a call with you when you are having this one-on-one back and forth with them. I'm going to talk about when to use a calendar link here in a second, but it's for their benefit. So the other pushback is people like, they think they're getting around this strategy that I teach by they say, well, I just sent a message and I said, please send me times you're available. That's even worse. That's so much worse because now you're saying to the other person, I'm too busy to take the time to send you times. I want you to take time out of your busy schedule and send me times, and then I'll evaluate it and decide if I'm available. It's like, no, that doesn't work. The 3 times language, it works. It works over and over again. And I have many stories, and I probably told them on the podcast of different times when I have used this and people, like one time I think I did tell this story on the podcast where I was speaking at a group of, there were 100 of my ideal clients in the room. And the speaker, when I was done speaking, got onto the microphone and was like, I just want to let you guys know how Nikki got to be in the room with us here today. She's the only speaker that made it so easy for me to get on a call with her. And that's how I got her booked. Because most people won't do what I'm suggesting they do. They use this 3 times language. And the pushback again is always, well, I can't hold that time open on my calendar, or the person didn't respond in time and those times are going to expire. Like I hear so many excuses about why people can't do this. And yet my clients who actually do use this strategy, who will implement the 3 times, and now there is some very specific language that I suggest. Get rid of your I statements. It can't be about you. It can't be about your schedule and when you're available, because that's not interesting to the reader. It has to be for their benefit. But my clients that use it and use the language that I give will always come back and say, that works time and time again. I know. I really do know. This is one of those things, like, I always say there's like certain things that I teach. I'm like, if I could just get everybody to do this, it would make such a difference in their business. This is one of them. And so this idea of people going, yeah, but calendar links are so easy and they're so convenient. Yeah, for you. But have you ever tried to schedule on somebody else's calendar link? And maybe you're like, oh, I love doing that. It's a lot of steps. It's not like you just go and you just pick it and it's like, oh, for sure, it's like one step. It's not one step. You have to pull up the person's calendar link, then you have to compare it to your calendar, and then you have to fill out some type of a form that they require in order to get on the calendar link. It's actually multiple steps. And I'm a fan of a calendar link, There's no doubt there's a time and a place for a calendar link, but the pushback on why you can't give the 3 times, it's just not true. Now, here's when this came up actually in the Sales Maven Society on our group coaching call the other day. Somebody was like, yeah, but what about on my website? Should I be trying to give 3 times if somebody's sending a, hey, like through my contact form? Well, no, because that's unrealistic. We haven't had any exchange, any back and forth with this person. And frankly, they're initiating it. They're on your website and they're initiating, they want to have a call with you. Totally appropriate to have a calendar link there. When you're the person initiating that you would like to get on a call with somebody, and if you'll use these 3 times, and again, you can send the same 3 times to up to 20 people. And if it just so happens that 2 people pick the exact same time, which is probably not going to happen, but if it does, then you just send back a message and say, I'm to the second person that comes in, I'm so sorry that time actually just got booked. Is there any chance we could meet, earlier that day or later that day? Or here are some other possible times in case one of these works for you. Like there's lots of ways that you can come back at this if it just so happens that multiple people pick this little window of time of getting on a call with you. So be willing to be flexible here. It's one of those, like, sometimes it's a good problem to have that so many people want to meet with you. It's just that it's a rare problem for most of the people that I work with. And I work with people in all different kinds of industries. I work with people around the world. I work with people that are selling any and everything that you can imagine, from services to products. And the people who use this find that it works over and over and over and over again. It's the most effective way. And as a matter of fact, sometimes it feels intimidating to do it, right? And I just had this happen recently. Somebody that I am in a group with made an introduction for me, out of the blue, just sent this message and was like, hey, Nikki, I think you should meet this person. This is who Nikki is. And so it was really out of the blue. Now, I didn't know of this person, but when I went and looked them up, I was like, oh my gosh, why would this person want to meet with me? They're a really big deal. Like, they're a really big deal in the world of entrepreneurship. As a matter of fact, some of the biggest names that I'm not going to say who it is, but some of the big names, if I named them, they coach with this person. Like like their coach. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, why would this person want to meet with me? So that's my internal dialogue coming out, going like, what could I possibly have to offer this person? Why would they ever want to get on a call with me? And then I have to set that aside and go, okay, but I got to walk my talk. So I sent a message saying, what I usually send, it's so nice to meet you virtually, would you be interested in scheduling a time just to get to know each other better and see how we might be resourced for each other? And then I gave 3 times. In no way did I say like, hey, here's my calendar link, go schedule time with me, or give me times you're available and I'll make myself available, because that's causing this person to have to do more work. So I just did what I always teach. I sent it. I got a response back within 30 minutes from the person saying, I would love to meet with you. I think this time works on my schedule, but I need to check one thing and then I'll let you know. And I was like, great. So it worked, kind of. And then I didn't hear back from the person. So I sent a follow-up and said, hey, just wanted to circle back and see, did you still want to meet at this day on this time? And if not, you're welcome to send me a link and I'd be happy to schedule on a time that's available in your calendar. So I offer, you can send me your link if you'd like to which the person responded and said, oh, turns out I have an appointment during that time, so that's not going to work. We really should schedule for next month. To which I responded, Great. Let's get that on our calendars now. Here are a few possible times. Does one of these work in your schedule? To which the person responded, here's the day and time that works, picking from my 3 times. And now I actually have a call scheduled with this person. I'm actually really, kind of nervous, but also really excited because if nothing else happens, I'll have met somebody who is certainly a huge inspiration in the world of entrepreneurship. So that's cool, right? And it works. And it works with the people that you think, oh, they're a big deal. And it works with the people that you think they would be a great client for me. And it works with the people that you want to speak to their organization. It works to the people who you would like to interview for your podcast. Whatever you're going to do with this 3 times language, it works over and over and over again. And all of the reasons that you're coming up with as to why you shouldn't do it or can't do it, it's an excuse. So when it's a one-on-one back and forth between you and the other person, that is when you use this. When it's multiple, you're sending something out to your whole list and you're offering them the opportunity to get on a coaching call with you or a discovery call with you, then your link is appropriate. If you're sending it out to thousands of people, okay, maybe a scheduling link is appropriate. If it's not initiated, right? Or if it's not, they've said yes to wanting to meet with you. Otherwise, do the 3 times and see what happens. You will probably find, I want to say you will find, and I know you will. And I'm going to put some wiggle room in there for those of you who are like, oh, Nikki's being too direct with this. So I'm going to say you'll probably find that this is one of the most effective strategies that you can use to actually get on live calls with people. So I hope that you will take this to heart. I hope that you will use this. And any reason that you're making right now as to why you can't, would you be willing, this is my question to you, would you be willing to suspend your reason and all the dialogue that goes with it and try it out and see if it works? Now, hey, if you want to come back to me and say, Nikki, I've tried it, it doesn't work. Great. As a matter of fact, I did have a woman that came up to me. I may have shared this story before. I'm not sure. I did have a woman. I was speaking at an event a couple of years ago, and she came up to me, and it was almost like she was super excited. Like she was feeling kind of smug, frankly. Like she came up and she was like, I know you invite feedback and questions, and I just wanted to let you know that, you talk a lot, and I've read your book, and you talk about this 3 times language, but it just doesn't work for me. And I was like, really? Because I always get really curious when people tell me my stuff doesn't work. I was like, really? Gosh, that's so interesting. Would you be willing to show me an example of a message that you sent out that didn't get this response? To which she pulled up her example, and her example was really written all about her. And if you read it, it sounded like she was saying I'm very busy. And in order for you to get on my schedule, here are some times where that I'm available. And so it was all about her, this language. And I was like, oh, I wonder if we just tweak your language just a little bit, if you'll find that people will be more receptive to this message. To which she was a little bit surprised. She agreed that she would go away and try it out. I never actually heard back from her. So I'm kind of suspecting, because she felt very smug in pointing out to me that it didn't work, I'm kind of suspecting that my rewrites did work for her. And I hope that she's still using it to this day. By the way, if you happen to be listening to this podcast and you think, that was me, I came up to Nikki and said that, I'm not offended in any way that you came up and told me that something didn't work. I hope that it really did make an impact for you in your business, because every time I review when somebody says this 3 times thing doesn't work, usually it's because their language is a little bit more me focused instead of about the reader. And when you can make it about the reader, make it about their convenience, make it easy for them, they will likely take that step with you. So I hope you found this episode helpful. I hope you'll put this into effect and reach out and let me know how it goes. If you want to be smug and tell me it doesn't work for you, I will still love you. I will still appreciate you. And I'll be okay with you saying it doesn't work. Although I think you're probably going to tell me it does. Okay. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast in 2022, you know that 2022 for me is the year of connection. And I've been sharing some of my favorite people who I have had personal relationships and worked with. So today I want to do a shout out to Lindsey Johnson of Verity & Co. Lindsey is a copywriter. She's an amazing copywriter. As a matter of fact, she wrote the copy for my latest website. And you can check her out by going to Verity & Co. So it's VerityAndCo.com. And you'll see on her website, she says, ready to have sales copy that cuts through the noise, attracts the right audience, and converts those people to the sale. I love her website. And she primarily works with women. And I think she has even niched down a little bit further and is now working with Christian women. She has the biggest, most generous, most loving heart. I know probably a lot of my listeners know who Lindsey is. She also has her own podcast, and I just think the world of her. I think she's a really good person doing really good work in the world. And if you need copy, she's very good at what she does. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Hey, if you haven't checked out the Sales Maven Society yet, would you come join us? Come hang out with us. This is my group coaching program. This is the place where you bring your questions, your sales, scenarios and issues and all the things that are kind of slowing you down in really elevating your business and creating more influence and more income in the world. This is the place for you to bring your questions and get some support from me. You get access to my training content on sales. You get access to me and the group in live calls twice a month. And we have an amazing, amazing private group where people are posting questions to me on the regular. And I'm offering answers, solutions, and suggestions on how to make their sales convert quicker, and all while building relationships, all while being kind. Okay. You can join the Sales Maven Society by going to salesmavensociety.com. And as a matter of fact, if you're not yet a member, your first month, I would love to give you a coupon code where you can enter it in, and it's going to take $100 off your first month of the group coaching program. And the code is 47TRIAL, 47TRIAL. That means you can come for your first month for only $47 and get full access to the live coaching calls, the training content, and the group. And it's an amazing group of entrepreneurs, people doing really cool stuff in the world. So come hang out with us. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.